It's that time again. Time for me to break down The Walking Dead for this week. This week's episode is Isolation. But in my opinion, they probably should have just called it Mean Muggin', because Tyreese was mean mugging at least half of the episode, if not more. I mean, just straight up just ice grilling it, just scowling. I thought Michonne scowled, but Tyreese took it to another level. He took it to Rick's face multiple times. They're sitting there. Rick's like, "Calm down. Know how you feel." I mean, my wife that everyone wanted to die, she finally did die. I mean, I feel horrible about it, but she's dead. So know what you're feeling. Tyreese is just like, "Oh, I'm gonna punch your face." Rick's like, "Alright, I'm gonna let that first one slide, but as long as you don't do it again." "Oh, I'm gonna punch your face again." And Rick's like, "Alright. You do realize that the first time you met me, I was hallucinating about my crazy wife. Like, you probably should have committed that to memory." So Rick's just like, "Alright, time to whoop that ass." So decks him, gets on top of him, starts doing some UFC ground and pound, just and then he's just like, my bad, I'm surprised, Daryl's the, the cooler head, which I thought was interesting. That was interesting that he was the only one that kind of didn't lose his cool. Then again, he also didn't get punched in the face, so I guess it's a little bit easier to maintain your sanity when someone's fist isn't being drilled into your face. So, I don't know. Just from that part alone, I was hoping, like, alright, this episode is going to be a good one. I mean, not that the other ones haven't been good, but this one, I don't know. When people get punched in the face, I'm happy. That's all I have to say about that. So, we also find out who killed Karen and David, who's the John Doe other body that no one really cares about. And it was Carol! Yeah, you probably thought I was going to wait till the end to throw that bombshell, but nope. Carol's the one that did it. So, the other points of this episode, okay, so as if his girlfriend dying wasn't bad enough for Tyreese, his sister Sasha is also sick, so she's also going into quarantine, and I believe it was Rick that had the plan where all the most vulnerable people need to go into quarantine, so separate all the children and the old people and everybody else in between. Meanwhile, Daryl and Michonne, the A-team, the badasses of the group, are going to go into town to try and get some medicine, because Herschel had this idea. He's like, "Hey, I'm a vet. I know where every veterinary clinic is, so let's go over there. They have antibiotics. It just so happens to be the exact type of antibiotics that they need, even though no one knows what this flu is. But hey, it's Herschel. He's a doctor. I'm not arguing with him, because he's got a peg leg. You don't argue with people with peg legs. So anyway, so they're gearing up, and then Tyreese goes to his sister, and he's just like, "Sister, I want you to make it, so I'm totally going to go with these guys to get you some medicine. Just try and hang on until then." So he goes with them. Before he leaves, he goes to Carol, and he's like, "You seem to be a nice person, someone not capable of murdering two people in cold blood. So if you could look on my sister for me, that would be just splendid. That'd be fabulous. I would really appreciate that." And she's just like, yeah, totally. I have no problem with that." And then she's just like, "Oh man, I'm so parched that I hate water." And she throws the water, and she's like, "Oh, you want some of this 2-barrel? Boom! I hate that water too." So the water splashes everywhere, and Carol's just crying, crying over spilt water. And later on, her and Rick, she goes out to, they have a system of pumping water in there, and it was gunked up with mud, so she had to go clean it out. And Rick had decided, because it's a Rick-tatorship, whether you like it or not, so we'll do that tomorrow. And she's like, "Hey, tomorrow's just an excuse." So she runs out there, and then all of a sudden, their little zombie distraction, wasn't really doing the trick, and they start turning around. They're like, "You know what? Fresh meat's better, and it's not behind a fence." So they're coming towards Carol. Carol busts out the machete, and she's like, "Gah!" But the machete gets stuck in his head, which is why a katana is a superior weapon for combating zombies. FYI. That knowledge might come in handy later in the future. I just want you to know that. So anyway, so she's escaping. Rick comes in there, saves the day. And then he scolds her like, "Come on, what are you thinking, Carol?" And she's like, "Hey, I'm thirsty." Pushed over all the water. So anyway, so later on, Rick goes and he, heeds Tyrese's suggestion to go investigate the crime. He uses his cop instincts, and he's looking around. He sees blood, and then he sees like a little blood stain on the wall. And he's like, I have a hunch. So this is actually the very end of the episode where he confronts Carol. It's like, "So Carol, I was just wondering, nothing big, but did you just so happen to kill Karen and David?" And she's like, "Yup, sure did. They were assholes. Bye." And so she just, came out and said it, Well, he prefaced it with, are you willing to do anything to save these people? She's like, yeah, except for let them live. So Carol was the culprit the entire time. I didn't see it coming, even though I guess there were clues. I don't really pay that much attention to clues, but it was a good twist. I think it's a lot better than everyone's suspecting Bob, because I don't know, there's something just odd about him. He just seems like shoehorned in all these scenes. It's like, hey guys, bring me across. So anyway, so that's that story there. I'll go into Carl and Herschel. So Herschel's supposed to go and hang out and be old and all that, and he decides he's going to go pick some berries to help with the fever symptoms, or the flu symptoms. So, and also Dr. S. So the doctor has a name, and his name is Dr. S. So Dr. S is sick too, everybody's sick. Oh yeah, and Glenn is sick too, so people are kind of bummed out, like, oh no, don't kill Glenn. Him and Maggie can't bang if he's dead. So Herschel goes out there, and Carl's like, wait, you ain't getting past me. Herschel's like, I'm a grown-ass man, kid, get out of my way. Carl's like, fine, but I'm going to come with you, and I'm bringing my pistol with me. So they're there, and they're picking berries. Carl's standing watch. He's got his gun. He's ready for anything. And they see a zombie that's snatched up in a bear trap. Just kind of, my foot hurts. And, he sees that one, and there's another one that looks like it's like half tree, half man, and it's just like, ugh. And there's a tent that looks oddly suspiciously like the tent from the first episode. It's obviously a lot more run down. I'm assuming it's the same tent, not as far as the story goes, but I think they're just like, we'll just use the same tent. We're just going to smush it up a little bit because it's the same color palette. Anyway, not that important, but I thought it was interesting to note. Anyway, Carl's about to shoot the zombie, and Herschel's like, hey, it's so peaceful out here, we don't need your bullets, alright? Just go. I mean, these things are too slow to catch us anyway. Even with my peg leg, they can't catch me, so let's just get out of here. So they leave, and then Herschel's going to go in there to go tend to all the sick people, and Maggie comes out. He's like, Daddy, don't go! He's like, I got to, because we can't determine what's going to kill us, but we can determine what we die for. And she's like, damn, that was all sage-like, so yeah, I guess you can go. I'll even open the door for you. So he walks in there, and he's treating Dr. S, and he learns a very valuable lesson. So he's talking to Dr. S, and he's like, so, it looks like you guys might make it if we can get these antibiotics. And Dr. S is like, oh, that sounds good. Oh, sorry about that, Herschel. My bad. So you cover your mouth when you cough. So, he coughs blood in Herschel's face. Herschel's like, alright, well, I guess I don't need the ninja mask anymore if you're just going to cough blood in my face. So I guess I'm going to be infected too. But hey, Herschel's the boss. He doesn't care. He's like, whatever. I got faith in those dudes. They're going to bring back the antibiotics. So fast forward to them, so now it's Daryl, Michonne, and, Tyreese decided to go help him out, and then Bob. I hope I'm saying his name, because I'm going to be very pissed if I've done 3 episodes and his name's like Frank or something. Anyway, the new guy from The Wire was keep it safe. So they all pile up in what looks like a Mustang or some type of sports car. Should have brought an all-terrain vehicle, but we'll get to that later. So they're driving, and Daryl's kind of making small talk, like the trail went cold, referring to the old one-eye governor. It's like, I'd be out there with you. Because, he did kind of kill my brother, and I didn't really appreciate that, despite what an asshole my brother was. But anyway, so they're driving, and, they're trying to pick up some good, top 40 hits, and turns out there's radio traffic, and you can't really make out what it says, but I think it was something like, if you show up, you'll survive, or something like that. But apparently, if you don't look at the road, you won't survive, because it ran into a damn zombie, or almost did. I think he swerved to use his Need for Speed skills, got out of the way, only to get into the path of, like, thousands upon thousands of zombies, and they're like, just hitting the window, like a bunch of homeless people. So he just kicks that into reverse, knocks over all these zombies, and then he's trying to find an open spot, and unfortunately, so many zombie body parts have piled up that he can't even get off of them to get away. So they pretty much got to abandon the vehicle, which just happens to be the fastest vehicle they had, which kind of sucks. Maybe they should have just brought an old clunker. So anyway, so they run out of there. Michonne's doing her thing, chopping heads. Daryl's doing his thing, and then Bob's like, oh shit, I should probably do my thing too. So he's shooting dudes, and pop, pop, shooting him in the head, and Tyreese is just like, he's trying to harness his chi before he goes out there. He's like, alright, this one's for you, Karen, and this one too, and he's just getting surrounded, and he's just going hammer time on all these zombies, and Daryl's like, whoa, you waited in the car, you're on your own. They just hightail it out of there, and you think Tyreese is left for dead. And And then miraculously he shows up covered in zombie guts, but still standing, still strong, and as far as we know, unbitten and unscratched. So they continue on foot. I mean, the thing was supposed to be 50 miles out, so I don't know how far they got before they ran into slight turbulence. So obviously they're going to have a hell of a journey to try and get there, considering all the zombies. Not to mention, they seem to be moving into the direction of the prison, so who knows, maybe they'll have to abandon ship. So that was pretty much it. You know, it was a really good episode. I mean, we found out Carol was just a little bit nutty. Now it kind of makes sense why she's a terrible grief counselor, you know, trying to counsel kids who lost their father. Just like, toughen up, you know, if you gotta kill a man, you gotta kill a man. That's what you gotta do to survive. You know, we gotta see Tyreese go from a teddy bear to a freaking grizzly bear, punching faces, and that was pretty awesome. And the potential breakup of Maggie and Glenn due to untimely death. So we'll see. You know, they got a lot on their plate. So we'll see what happens next episode. Thanks for watching. Again, this is Prometheus, punching the walls of reality. You can go here, pitwar.com, if you don't want to type too much. If you like the video, like it, leave a comment. Be sure to subscribe. If you subscribe, it helps us. I don't know, however the metrics in YouTube goes. Plus, you don't have to go searching around. You know, you subscribe, video goes straight to your email. You don't even have to worry about when it's posted, because it's there. But it's posted on Thursdays, just in case you didn't know. Anyway, thanks for watching.